approve. Did everybody review those minutes for approval for tonight?
Yes, sir.
I
Okay.
did, yes.
Okay, so make a motion to approve the October minutes.
I'll make the motion. We approve
Okay.
the October.
I didn't get a chance to fully review them yet. I mean, I did look at them, but there's some questions on there. But so I'm gonna wait on that one.
We can't. You gotta, right? I mean, if you got a question about the minutes.
Okay,
we
that's
need-
fine. I'm
we
gonna
need
say
to
that I don't
certify
approve the minutes, and I'll just be voted out on that.
Okay. Everybody,
Okay.
so
Make a motion.
the motion's been made, the second is here.
Okay,
So now we vote to see if we approve the minutes. So all those that are in favor of approving the minutes?
Yes, aye.
Aye.
okay. Are you
No.
gonna record people that approve the minutes?
And then Eric, no.
No, correct.
Nasser.
I don't know that we need to name everybody that approves every single vote.
I just do it anyway.
It's
I think it's
probably-
good.
It's a good
But
idea.
it's accepted.
Under chapter 209, they have to know what
What's his name?
board members vote for what. Yeah. But that definitely is.
Yeah, why don't we go ahead and introduce ourselves so she knows who's who here.
Tony Laguerre.
Tony Laguerre, he's the treasurer.
Okay.
Okay. Nazar Hempel's board member. Jimmy. Is it Schlomack or Schlomack?
Schlomack, SCHLOMACH. Board member.
And,
Eric Springston, and currently VP, soon to not be.
Spring, what, SPRING?
Spring like the season, stun like a
Right.
stun gun.
Okay. And you're VP, okay.
and should we note Rick Wallen was absent from the meeting? I think for the record, if you got an idea.
Well, I put him
You
on
just put that
here,
in there. It's not
Okay.
present.
not present, yeah.
Okay. Now that you know everybody, who everybody is, and you've got the vote on the October minutes, we'll go to the next agenda item. Can the both Darrens hear what's going on?
Yes, we hear you well.
Okay, great. I know the mic's pretty good on that, so I just want to make sure.
Yes, I have you as well.
Okay, fantastic. Number 2, reconfirm Rick Wall to the board, I
No,
guess.
no, number one, you missed number one.
Yes, that's very important, actually. Number 1, so we've got a copy of the Roberts Rules of Order. Eric, you want to read those? It says to
Sure.
be read by Eric, so.
Okay. Anyway, we're trying to establish if we can all agree to Robert's Rules of Order. It is not state law, but it is a guideline used across the nation and world. But anyway, so the basics are as follows. Robert's Rules of Order. All members have equal rights, privileges, and obligations. Everyone has a right to be heard. Only one item of business or question can be taken up at a time. This gives a chance for a full discussion, dissuades topic tangents, and maintains order. Number 3, the majority vote rules. However, this doesn't mean the rights of every individual aren't protected. An impartial chairperson must be present. Now, of course, is referring to the president. These principles ensure that everyone is heard and that any debate, question, or vote can be conducted as fairly as possible. All of these rules of order support the principles. Some key examples. These may not go over. No member speaks twice about a motion until all members have had an opportunity to speak. Only one main motion can be pending at a time. Each meeting follows an order of business called an agenda. everything on the agenda is reviewed in its order and disposed of before the board members go on to the next item. And of course, going back to the president/chairperson, the president of the organization or movement should be present at the meeting. This person is usually an elected officer of the organization. It's their job to lead the meetings, but they can't debate or submit their own motion. Okay, that's the basic summation of it.
Okay, that last Robert's rule doesn't really apply. I did some research on that. And I sent out an email to everybody. For small organizations, I can definitely vote and I can also make motions.
Yeah, and I think in this environment, we need to have that anyway. I mean, we're a small group and
Right.
we need to have input from everybody and you really can't leave one person completely out.
I think it's the way it's
But
always.
I agree to everything else. I think that's pretty good stuff.
Yeah, I like the rules.
I would like to interject one thing. Those rules apply to board members, voting members, not attending members. So that's voting members, not attending members that show up. That's for the board members to follow these rules.
You hear that, Donna? Kidding.
So basically, these
Voting-
rules.
It does say
apply.
voting members. This doesn't say voting members, but it does say voting members.
Okay.
So I make a motion that we follow the rules.
I second that motion.
Well, then let me just clarify though, that except for that last paragraph about Kurt not being able to talk or debate or anything like that. So with the exclusion of that, I think the rest of it is what we do. And so second, and then you do second with that caveat on it?
I mean, I don't agree with that caveat, but the first portion, yes. I know I'm gonna be outvoted on that anyway, so it's okay.
Well, should we vote twice then?
No, we don't have to, just go ahead and proceed forward, so I'll agree to,
Okay.
as long as we all follow these guidelines and stay in order, then that sounds great.
Okay,
Jimmy?
I vote.
I'm in favor.
I'm in favor.
Nazar?
I'm abstaining from that one, because, I know it's gonna get twisted later on, because it has to be written the way we're gonna follow it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think, we need to revisit that later, and when it's written the right way. Because right now it's gonna be left into interpretation, because we can even agree on what it states in the actual guideline and what's presented to us on paper. So, like I said, I vote to revisit that later on with with some adjustments. That's mine.
I don't see anything wrong with following, the Robert's Rules of Order.
Yeah, except for that last portion, I agree with it. So if we vote on this, is that everything except for that last sentence?
Everything's approved.
Okay.
Well, we've got, do we go
Yeah,
by
that-
what
that's
he's
a
got on his
form.
phone, or do we go by some Robert's Rules of Order that we really have right here? And that's something that I printed out and sent it out to everybody, a while back. I don't know if anybody read it or whatever, but that's just a little posting. or
I'd like to see
a
it,
little cheat sheet order there.
What,
Yeah, a little
uh,
cheat sheet. You know, I mean, that's the basic guidelines for Robert's Rules of Order, and,
Okay.
you know, I don't know if we need to vote on doing that, but I think that,
You guys may have to help me
it
along.
would be a good idea to follow that to some extent, because we do,
If I'm out of line, let me know.
Yeah, they're open to interpretation, like Nazar said. Question I have on these rules, do we have what versions of these rules, like these 2022 versions, or these,
revised edition.
revised edition? Or do
Like we
we,
spoke about on the phone, I'm using the latest versions, and but I think we need to agree to follow them to the T, but not any variations or open to interpretation. Believe me, everything is solidified in these Robert's Rules of Order, and I think we all need to follow that to keep the meeting organized and moving forward. No interruptions. There are certain ways you can interrupt. I sent out the actions, and there's certain ways you cannot interrupt.
okay, so getting back on my point, we all have to agree to what version of these Robert rules, or which rules that we're gonna abide by. So we're all on the same page. So you say you've got the latest version, correct? 2022?
I'm not sure when it was published, I have to recheck, but mine was
Okay.
definitely
So
the
basically, both
most current
versions-
version.
Okay, so both versions are in question.
I
so
doubt there's much variation. I mean, interrupt, but I doubt there's much variation.
They should be pretty close,
they're pretty
but
close.
I guess in order for us to vote on this, I guess,
I think the general, rules though is what we're talking about following, and I think that's probably pretty standard. Yeah, so.
so the stuff that you're giving us here, Jim, does it match Eric's?
Sure.
Okay,
With the exception, like I said, of his last statement.
Well, we negated that, so.
Sure.
Yeah.
okay. So now we all agree that we're gonna follow these rules
Yep.
according to what we agreed for, except for the last statement, moving forward. Okay, so that completes item number 1. Moving on to item number 2. Reconfirm Rick Wall to the board. Rick is not here, does,
Yeah, I talked to him, he does want to be.
oh, he does?
Yeah, he does want to be reconfirmed, so.
Okay,
So I nominate Rick back to the board, and just a little confusion as to whether he was on or off, and so to make certain that he's on, just re-vote him back on, so. I
okay.
make the motion.
I'm in favor of putting, leaving him on. I don't know that we ever officially terminated him or however that come about. He just said that he had other issues and.
Well, he has some serious health issues, but he was back on the board, so.
Okay,
We
so,
talked about those.
And nothing was signed, so.
Yeah. Okay.
all right, so then to just reconfirm him then,
Reconfirm he's on the board.
okay?
I vote
All in
yes.
favor?
So Corinne wants to record this, so
Unanimous.
Tony made the motion, and then Jimmy second, and Nazar third, and I'm sure Eric would fourth that.
Unanimous.
Be unanimous, I will vote for them.
Who was after Tony?
Jimmy. Jimmy vote.
And then Eric was
Mhm.